There's a lot of focus right now on building trust within teams. We've got so many people who are working in a hybrid environment or remote where, maybe team members have never actually been in the same room with each other. So what can we do as leaders to try and build that trust and improve collaboration? Well, it's so important to make sure that everybody feels that they're listened to. And EY did a study a while back to look into some of the ways that individuals will open up to their managers. What do managers need to do to get that to happen? And one very important thing is to allow time for one-to-one communication. You'll have some people on your team who will never really open up to you unless it's in a one-to-one environment. So do you, for example, have office hours where maybe an hour a week, a couple of hours a week, you allow people to come to you? Maybe you start out by giving people 10-minute slots and you say, look, even if there's nothing much to talk about, I'd just love to get to know you a bit better. It's been a while since we've spoken one-to-one. Please feel free to come along for those 10 minutes. We can even just shoot the breeze if there's nothing much to say. And by insisting on having that one-to-one time with people, you'll find that they start to trust you more. They will perhaps open up over time like a flower, right? Not everybody is really comfortable sharing what's going on for them from the get-go. So by, really cultivating this habit of speaking to people one-to-one, you'll start to build trust, you'll start to build understanding, and then that in turn will have an impact on the amount of trust within the team. Another thing that you can do is if you have a lot of hybrid meetings, is you can make sure that you have a moderator who is there specifically to ensure that all the people who are remote get a look in and get a word in the meeting. Because although so many people love to be able to work remotely, it's well known that there are frustrations around things like being heard, about knowing who is doing the talking during a hybrid meeting, and just cutting through the noise. By having that remote or in-person moderator who is there for the remote participants, you make sure that everybody is able to get involved and you have an inclusive environment. Another thing that leaders can do to cultivate a real team environment, even when you've got people who are working remotely, is by bringing in the personal user manual. And the personal user manual is a document that you circulate, and it has various questions on that the team answers. And the questions might be, how do you like to receive feedback? Or what's one thing you'd like your team members to know about you that they probably don't? And those sorts of questions are really powerful because imagine, you're waiting to, perhaps you have a team offsite or you go for, I don't know, pizza or something with the team. Even if you do that sort of thing regularly, it might take ages before you get to the level of familiarity and comfort where you're asking people those sorts of questions and people are freely disclosing. So by having the personal user manual, what it means is that everybody is able to really share what their preferences are, to share a bit more about themselves. And there's a few ways that you can actually distribute that information. So you could, for example, put it on an intranet and say to everybody, right, I want you to all read each other's personal user manuals. Or you could say, right, at the beginning of each team meeting, I'd like one person or two people to briefly go through their user manual and just point out a few items of interest that they'd like the team to understand about themselves. So in this way, it doesn't have to be this big rigmarole where, it takes ages to collate the data and share. It can just be something that's done on a casual basis, but you'll be surprised at how interesting that is for all the team members. And it also creates what we call conversational hooks, where if somebody says, I'm playing trumpet, or I'm learning to play the trumpet, maybe someone else is saying, oh, my kid is learning the trumpet. Let's have a quick chat about that. I'd love to hear more. And so then it just creates all these other conversations and cross-pollination of ideas and just people getting to know each other offline, apart from in those team meetings.